Ideal mesmo para o mundo atual seria fazer o ensino médio junto com o curso técnico, certo? É no Senac que o aluno tem autonomia de verdade, formação cidadã, foco na diversidade, preparação para o Enem, material didático sem taxas e muito mais. Na real, tem tudo que você precisa para se sentir preparado para a vida. Seja para entrar no mundo do trabalho ou te ajudar a decidir o que fazer na faculdade. Quer saber? Senac. Vem comigo! Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino-médio-técnico.
Today on CityCast DC, it's Thanksgiving, and there is a ton to be thankful for, including pardoning turkeys. Bridget chatted with Beth Breeding of the National Turkey Federation about what happens for one, and sometimes two, lucky birds every year. Today is Monday, November 25th. I'm Julia Caron, and here's what DC is talking about.
Beth Breeding, so you work for the National Turkey Federation, which who even knew a thing existed? Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Well, in Washington, D.C., there's a trade association for everything. And we're really honored to represent America's turkey farmers, processors, and truly everyone in between who delivers turkey to the Thanksgiving table.
So do you have any stories about the most interesting turkey that you have met in your career?
Oh my gosh. Every turkey that you meet is pretty interesting. I would say it's not every day that one gets to work directly with turkeys, but the turkeys that we bring to the White House each year are really special. They're definitely not like your average turkey. They have interacted with a lot of people. They like listening to music. I mean, they're definitely extraordinary turkeys.
How can you tell when a turkey is enjoying listening to music? Are they like bobbing their little heads? Are they moving their little gobbles?
I mean, they truly gobble along. It's really funny. If they hear music that they, I guess, enjoy or somehow, speaks to them, they'll gobble. If they hear other turkeys gobbling, they'll gobble along. It's kind of funny.
So tell us a little bit about the history of the turkey pardoning. Why did this start and why DC?
Yeah, well, really, Washington, D.C. is the only place that something like this could happen. So the National Thanksgiving Turkey Presentation is what we officially call it. And it started back in 1947 when the chairman of the National Turkey Federation presented a turkey to President Harry Truman. And from there, the rest is history. But the actual pardon part didn't get formalized until 1989 with President George H.W. Bush. He officially pardoned the turkeys, and they have been pardoned every year since.
So what goes into picking a turkey to be pardoned?
So our chairmanship is a 1-year term here at the National Turkey Federation, and it is the honor, the responsibility of our chairman to raise and present the turkeys at the White House. So that's why you see them coming from different states. Virginia is a really major turkey producing state. So we've had a lot of turkeys from the Virginia area, particularly the Shenandoah Valley.
Have there been any Maryland turkeys represented?
There is not much turkey production in Maryland and certainly not much in DC. Maryland is primarily chickens, but there could be a chance.
So walk us through a day in the life of this turkey that is picked to be pardoned. Like, are they living the high life for a turkey? What are they up to?
They are. They're living large for sure. So the turkeys come from their farm. They are driven to Washington, D.C. So whether that's a quick ride from North Carolina or a longer haul from South Dakota or wherever they're coming from, and they arrive into D.C. and are welcomed to the Willard. Right by the White House. It's been the home of the turkeys since 2013. And they get a red carpet welcome where they're greeted by the staff and the hotel manager. And
wait, a literal red carpet welcome?
A literal red carpet welcome. They walk the red carpet. And it's really fun. And they're presented with their room keys. And then we let them go settle down. So They spend some time. They have their own hotel room, but don't worry, it is protected. We make sure, we cover things up so that they don't make a mess, but they enjoy spending time in their room. And then, they kind of get to see some sights around the hotel a little bit. And then eventually they get to go over to the White House.
Do they have any special requests? Like, what are you doing to make sure these turkeys feel special?
Absolutely. Well, we want to make sure that they feel like they're at home. So we make sure they're comfortable by putting down shavings and have their food and their water. Make sure the room is, appropriately climate controlled for them. And they're not too demanding. They just like to have access to food. They like to have the TV on. They really like to watch local news. They're into it, and they gobble along to that as well.
Gobble along. How do you keep them down to earth? Do they ever become divas? I'm a celebrity turkey now.
They're pretty grounded. They know from the start that they're special turkeys, but we try to keep them humble. They're part of a presidential flock when they are first hatched. So they don't necessarily know that they're the turkeys that are going to be going to the White House until right beforehand. So they really can't get too cocky or too ahead of themselves.
That's good to know. I'm glad y'all keep them humble.
Absolutely. You have to.
So once the turkey is done in D.C., what happens next? Where does it go from there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So these two turkeys are pardoned, which means they will not be on the Thanksgiving table. In the past several years, we've been really excited to partner with universities that have strong animal science, agriculture programs. We know that when they go there, they're going to receive excellent care, but also they'll help promote agriculture education, which is so important to us as the turkey industry to really influence that next generation of leaders.
Is the day of the pardon a pretty packed day for the turkeys? Are they, by the end of it, so tired?
It's a big day for them. Just like anyone else going to the White House, they have to go through security screening. So they get to take a little ride around D.C., go through security and into the White House. And just like everyone else, we're on the president's schedule. So we're waiting and we're ready for him whenever he's ready for us. So they get to spend some time kind of pecking around the Rose Garden. It's really fun, but at the end of the day, I think they're all ready to take a nap.
Do they? I don't know much about turkeys, but you're making them sound so interesting. Do they have distinct personalities?
I think it's more fun to kind of make up that they do. I don't know that they actually have distinct personalities, but you can definitely see some quirks that some of them might have. One year I was wearing a floral dress and I learned the hard way that you shouldn't do that because they think that it's food. So that's a little note if you're ever, up close and personal with the turkey. They're definitely funny creatures.
What makes D.C. the prime location for this process? I can imagine them doing the pardoning in the president's home state or something like that, or wherever the turkey comes from. Why D.C. in particular?
When you're presenting a turkey to the president, there's no better backdrop than the Rose Garden, and there's no better setting than our nation's capital. There's a lot of history here, and this is becoming one of America's most beloved holiday traditions. So it's kind of fitting that in a place with so much history, and also a place that, day to day politics might get a little grueling or a little bit divisive, but we can all agree that pardoning a turkey at Thanksgiving is a lot of fun and injects a little bit of levity into things. So I think DC is the best place to do that.
Yeah, it's nice to have a reason to rise above all the hecking and squabbling of politics with something everybody can agree on.
Yes, there's always a lot to gobble about for sure.
Thank you for indulging my turkey puns.
I had to.
Beth, thank you so much for being here and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
That's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey DC. Also, become a member at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.